Okay, hello and good morning, everyone. Welcome to Easy Markets Daily Picture International with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today is the 28th of August, 2023. So, yeah, welcome, everyone. Welcome to this Monday's morning session where we're going to have a very quick look at the markets, a few of the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendations and should not be considered as such. This material should not be taken as an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. Look, I'll disappear from that little left corner in there for a little bit. I'll give you a chance to read the rest and I'll be back in a few seconds. Okay, so now then, also just before we go further, as always, just a quick mentioning of our Easy Markets website, which you can always check out for more information about us. And I believe you can find some useful stuff here. So, just visit us here. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to us. Now then, guys, let's jump into the charts. So the first one I want to pick up here is Nikkei 225. Okay, look, in general, we have quite a busy week, mainly from the US because of the US data. But of course, the rest of the world is not leaving, or should I say, is catching up very quickly in terms of showing good stuff, good data sets. But look, Nikkei 225, going back to the technical picture that I talked about last week, I said to you that I will get a little bit more excited with the upside if we do push and stay above that 50-day EMA. Now I get it. I don't get me wrong. I mean, it's not the for sure a sure thing. For example, if it jumps above and stays above the 50-day EMA, then that's it. You know, from here it's going to go higher. No, because we had like similar situations here. But this is how you adjust and you adapt. You have to kind of, let's say, you have your stop losses in place just in case it kind of goes down the drain like it did here. But at least, you know, it stops you out like in the territory like where, you know, you don't lose anything, or at least you lose minimal. So in general, guys, you, as I keep on saying all the time, that you have to kind of risk only what you can afford to lose. That's the, you know, that's the main thing in trading. So in risk management, or should I say one of the main things. But coming back to the technical picture here on Nikkei, yes, I'm still going to stick to the same game plan. If we do push and stay above that 50-day EMA right here, then yes, I will target the... I'll go for a larger correction to the upside, because don't forget that we're still below this downside resistance line drawn from the high of the 16th of June. And that's why the downside line could still, you know, remain intact. I mean, it could remain intact, or if it stays let me rephrase that again. I think there's a lot of information that it's in my head right now, and it's like honestly flowing everything out of me. Look, if we do push above that 50-day EMA and stay above it, then this increases the chance for a larger correction to the upside. But if that downside line remains intact, yes, another drift back down could be possible. However, if it gets broken, great, wonderful, we could go a little bit to the upside. So again, we're playing a very careful game here from the shorter term perspective. I'm leaning a little bit more towards the upside, but again, I need that confirmation break, and I need to see that body of the daily candle staying above the 50-day EMA. In terms of the downside, well, I will probably start looking at some lower levels if we do drop back below the 100-day EMA, but I'll get more comfortable with the downside if we do fall below the 31,243 territory right there. Now, okay, China 50 index. Right. The positivity here, the spike here came out during the weekend. Where's that news? Where's that piece of information? Yeah, that the China announced that new measures over the weekend to boost its capital markets. And basically they have removed half, or not removed, halved the stamp duty on stock trading. So yes, in a way, that's a good sign for the market. Also, they will control the regulator, the securities regulator of China will also regulate or control the amount of IPOs. So in a way, that's kind of pushing, the kind of the making the current stocks a little bit more attractive. So in general, everything's kind of looking quite nice here. But of course, we saw a bit of a decline. We had a spike, and then we quickly drifted back down. So look, from the technical perspective, what I was saying before last week, I said to you that if we do break this downside line and stay above it, then yes, I will get a little bit more excited with the upside. But in general, it kind of reached my targets straight away with that spike because it broke the downside line, traveled higher, tested my 12,856 territory, and tested my 200-day EMA as well. So not to mention the 13,000 mark here. In general, I think that's quite a success, which I think I've missed a little bit. So, but hey, you cannot capture everything. In general, I think the idea worked out, maybe not exactly, because I was kind of I wasn't expecting such a a quick spike, but okay, in general, all the levels got hit after a break. So in a way, it's like you're happy, but still something is like not right. So in this case, like I said, in this case for me, the jump happened great. All my targets got reached, fantastic. I mean, if I would probably have maybe a pending order on that one, okay, that's however, I know that sometimes on such spikes, your pending order might actually get executed somewhere here, and then you kind of just capture a little bit, and then it actually it drifts back below it. So that's why sometimes these pending orders are not always the best ones. But again, it's up to you guys. You know yourselves better. But look, at this point, what to expect next? Well, because this is the futures, and this index this chart that I'm looking at are the futures. So we still have the European session to go through, the US one. So yeah, I mean, there could still be some positivity. We could end up seeing this the body of this daily candle remaining above this downside line. If that happens, then yes, I will go a little bit more to the upside again. In terms of the downside, I will take a very conservative approach, and I'll wait for a break of this upside line, and then yes, more sellers could join in. So that's my game plan. ASX 200, so this one's okay, still holding above this highlighted zone, which is roughly around that 7,040 zone. I talked about it. So for now, let's put it this way. If you're looking for some lower levels, then a drop below this territory would be required. If you're looking for some higher levels, then a break of this steeper downside line would be ideal, at least, maybe. Again, it's a tricky one. So this whole area right here, if you're thinking, to take advantage of that, look, at the moment I don't really like it, and at the moment, if I draw, let's say, my beloved Fibonacci levels, then I'll see that okay, maybe it could go for that 38.2, but we have already kind of traveled there. Maybe it's the 50% retracement here could be nice, but again, also it's not as clear as I would like it to be. So maybe this Fibonacci actually is not going to work. So that's why any movement in here, in between these two, the downside line, the steeper downside line, and this highlighted zone right here, I'll just observe the price action. So now then, let's jump into the US indices, guys. So, as always, let me just put a good morning. Good morning to all. Good morning, everyone in the chat room. There we go. Yep, let's start off this chat. Now, what's with the US indices? Now, on Friday, we saw the US indices closing in positive territory. That's great. That's good. NASDAQ was the leader. gaining almost 1%, so that's all good. But look, from the technical perspective, I think that this worked out nicely. I talked about this. Look, this is the Friday's candle here. I mean, we did drift lower and we did test this upside line. I talked a lot about this last week, and then we rebounded and pushed, back up. So that's all good. Also, what I said to you, that if we do pop and stay above this 100-day EMA right here, the shown as the green line, then I will get a little bit more excited, maybe with the upside, maybe going for a test of that 50-day EMA. So let's so this arrow needs to go this way here, because now the downside scenario is on a break of this upside line, and the upside scenario is on this. Like I said, if we do climb and stay above this 100-day EMA, I'm aiming for that 50-day EMA. That's my short-term view here. Again, slightly more medium term, I would say we need to wait for a not this one. We need to wait for a move out of this, maybe kind of, or a breakthrough one of these trend lines. Then yes, I'll get a little bit more excited with the next short, medium-term directional move. In terms of, look, I've mentioned that it's a busy week this week. So yes, we do have a good amount of data coming out from the U.S. Mainly the core and the headline PCE price index numbers. So those are coming out on Thursday. So something that the Fed will be keeping a close eye on. Traders, of course, traders will be looking at the NFP number, which is coming out on Friday. At the moment, I think for the NFP, let me just quickly double check. The expectation is for a lower number, and unemployment numbers are expected to be the same. So so yeah, basically that's in terms of the big data which is coming out from the US this week. But for example, today it's a little bit on the quiet side. We don't have much, but Tuesday starts off with much more interesting data sets. Also from the Eurozone on Tuesday, we have the EU economic forecast, but I'll get to that in a bit when I'll be covering DAX. Now, also, yes, the JOLT numbers, CB consumer confidence numbers from the US on Tuesday, something to keep an eye on. Yes, mainly maybe looking at the US dollar index. Also on, not also, but on Wednesday, from the US, we will get the where's that number? The preliminary GDP numbers. That's okay. That's very interesting to watch. And of course, together with that, we'll get 15 minutes earlier. Before that, actually, we'll get the ADP non-farm employment change numbers. Now, I said it a million times already, but I'll repeat it because I think I repeat it only once a month. That some people like to look at the ADP numbers and say, hey, this is what's going to happen probably with the number on the NFP number and stuff like that. So they try to kind of gauge it, and compare it to the NFP and try to predict the NFP. But I mean, I've told it several times that, look, I mean, this number, these two data sets are not really very correlated. So it's like one of those moments when it actually works out in the same direction, right? I mean, if it on the ADP comes out lower and then the NFP comes out lower, and those people say, see, I told you, but no. And then what do you do the other times when it doesn't, it's only this time it didn't work out, right? I mean, so it's that's why I'm saying, just keep a cool head, wait for the number to come out. Don't try to predict, because sometimes even if you think that, okay, if it's good for the, if the number came out lower, it came out lower, and then you're thinking, oh, it's going to be bad for the dollar. Yes, it might be bad. Maybe the initial impulse will be, for the dollar to the downside, but then actually will adjust because maybe there's still strong talks about the Fed continuing to hike rates. Now, And then we'll see the the US dollar reversing to the upside. And then people are thinking, oh, like, but the number came out lower. Yeah, but then there are other factors. So that's why I would say keep a cool head. Look at the technicals as well. I mean, just to find support. And then of course, once the data sets come out, just be cautious, because sometimes if let's say you have like a technical setup already, kind of, which you think that might work out, nicely, but then the data comes out, it kind of messes up the chart in general. But I always say let it settle, because let it settle. Maybe actually your setup, your technical setup will work out, because it will just you'll have some sharp spikes, it'll take out a lot of traders, and then it'll sell down and just kind of do again at the end everything what you wanted to do. So just kind of, like I said, try to be a little bit more on the careful side like that. So the S&P 500, okay. I don't really like what's happening here on the chart, to be honest. I mean, I think what I'm going to do here is going to remove the drawings, because some things worked, some things didn't, and I think it's getting messy, and I really don't like messy. So, oh, Daredevil Dave, good morning. I just saw your message there. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning to everybody else who's tuning in right now. I hope you all had a fantastic weekend. Look, for now the situation is this on the S&P 500. We're stuck between the 100 and the 50-day EMA. So after a nice rebound from the 100-day EMA, we're kind of trying to push a little bit higher. But to be honest, what I'm going to do here from the short-term perspective, I'm going to aim for this 50-day EMA for now, and then I'll take it from there. If you are looking for some, let's say, higher levels, and you can see what I'm drawing right now here, let me just put this on the chart. Maybe, just maybe, we could wait for a break of this downside line here, and then yes, we could get a little bit more excited with the upside. Why? Because at the same time, we could also push above the 50-day EMA right here, and potentially this could attract more buyers into the game. Now, in terms of the downside from the technical perspective, maybe something around this 4,375, but maybe actually we could already start looking at some lower levels if we do fall below the 100-day EMA. So now then, yeah, that's the situation for me at this point. Again, the only thing we can do right now is maybe play it carefully. If you don't like this territory, look, I don't blame you, because I don't like it as well, because I need some more clarity on this. And NDQUSD, which is NASDAQ. So, okay. I had this one, I mean, I had this drawn previously. Again, the same story. I think it's time to get rid of everything, and new week, let's do it this way. New week, new fresh look, right? You can see the same story happening here. We're after rebounding from the 100-day EMA. We're pushing back nicely to the 50-day EMA. So the question for now for me is, will we get some sort of a more clear move here? But I'm just trying to look at this one right now, and I'm trying to see if this is gonna work or not, actually. So let's see if this is actually something like a parallel channel. Okay, maybe. Look, maybe this is, you know what, I'm gonna keep this for now. So in a way, I would say this way, that bear with me one moment, let me just clear up my throat a little bit. Sorry about this, guys. I mean, early morning for me too, and yeah, I needed to clear up my throat a little bit. So, while we remain inside the rising channel, there could still be some more upsides. We could still see a move towards this 50-day EMA. But if it starts breaking the lower side of this rising channel, then certainly yes. Keep your eyes on some lower levels. Maybe even a move towards that 200-day EMA could be possible. Look, in general, somebody might say, but hey, maybe this could be seen as a bearish indication. Why? Because look, the prevailing trend was to the downside. We entered a a rising channel, and in general, whenever you enter like a triangle, a range, or like a channel formation, it tends to break to the downside according to the TA rules. However, of course, we do have these like scenarios where it doesn't. That's why I keep on saying to you guys that wait for some clearance, and for the downside, we need to see a break of this upside line and the lower side of the rising channel. At the same time, we would break the 100-day EMA. For the upside, I need to see a break of this 50-day EMA in order to aim for the upper side of this rising channel. Now, the German index, DAX. This one's a little bit of a mess, but in general, very nice, very nice. On Thursday, we sold off heavily. Then you can see on Friday we recovered. We're still trying to recover, which is fine. It seems like we're trying to make our way back to the 100-day EMA. You know what? I'm not excluding that idea, but still, as I said before, you can see why I said that. That my upside scenario will be on a break of this 15,878, and at the same time, we need to see a push. We need to see a push above this 100-day EMA, and not only that, the body of the daily candle needs to stay here in order for us to get a little bit more excited with some higher levels. So as I said, this week we do have some European data coming out. So let me just start off with the week. Where's that? So on Monday today we don't have much. No, but yes, you're on Tuesday. That's the EU economic forecast number that's coming out. Then I think it's the German import price index. So some numbers from Germany. Yes, I mean that's in terms of Eurozone. We do have the services sentiment on Tuesday as well, and CPI numbers. Well, Bavaria CPI, the Brandenburg CPI numbers. So yes, that could be quite interesting. The Saxony CPI numbers. So yes, the preliminary ones, by the way, all of them. And the German CPI number in general, the preliminary German CPI, something to keep in mind, guys. If you're trading the euro and the German DAX, I think that mainly that's kind of it. Retail sales from Germany are also coming out on not also, but on Thursday they're coming out. And German unemployment numbers as well. So let's just double check something out. And of course, yes, of course, on Thursday the preliminary CPI numbers from the Eurozone, something to keep in mind. And of course on Thursday as well, ECB publishes account of monetary policy meeting. So the ECB meeting minutes that are coming out on Thursday. So yes, in general, quite an eventful week, not only from the US but also from Europe as well. And on Friday we have the Germany manufacturing PMI number, so something to keep in mind as well. So just don't purely rely. I think this is the week where don't just purely rely on the US data. Yes, it will have its effect on the DAX, but in addition to that, we do have some good data sets coming out from Germany and the Eurozone as a whole. The FTSE 100. So today the UK is on public holiday. Yep. But you can see the futures here. Of course, these are going to be reactive to the just general global market. But so far, from the technical perspective, I can see that the 7,390 zone, or should I say the 400 level, actually, I think that would be a little bit more logical. Actually, the 400 zone, the psychological 7,400 territory, is providing good resistance so far. So if you're looking for some higher levels, then yes, a break of that territory is needed. So I think that even better, we can highlight it this way. Now then, if you are looking for some lower levels, then a break of this upside line would be required. I get it. I mean, we're missing out on a bit of territory here, but let's put it this way. Maybe from the shorter term perspective, I would say what you can do here is look at this little level, this little hurdle, the 7,326, something like that zone. If we do drop below it, then maybe a bit of a, some lower levels here could be met. So this is my short-term downside scenario idea. But for the upside, yes, I need to see a push above that 7,400 level in order to consider a larger correction to the upside here. Now, let's jump into another index, and this is the dollar index. And what are we seeing here right now? A nice possible bullish flag. We have our nice pole here, which we got on Thursday. Now we're seeing a bit of a correction here. So yes, for me, this looks like a nice bullish flag. But again, don't get me wrong, we still could drift lower. We still could end up testing the this upside line. And yes, if we do rebound, from this upside line, then great, more buyers could join in. So that's why my downside scenario, as you already guessed, is on a break of this upside line. Now, actually, I had some levels here. I think that maybe this 103.5, but you know what? I don't like it anymore. I think it's better maybe. Actually, you know what? It's better not to stick to a level for now. I think that let's keep an eye on this upside line for now. And if we do clear it, then yes, I will consider a move towards that 200-day EMA. And this is where I do have a level, or should I say the area. That area is near the 102.94 zone right here. And then, yeah, I'll take it from there. Jumping into gold, so we're stuck here. This level worked out perfectly, this 1921. I talked about this, and so far, so good. So look, I mean, I need to see a push above this barrier, this 1921, in order to go higher. If I do get that push, then yes, more buyers could join in. But to be honest, looking at this picture, I'm not really convinced that we could see some higher levels here, or at least for now. I mean, this formation is a little bit on the bearish side, to be honest. So look, I'll do it this way. I'll take a very simplistic approach, although it's a little bit difficult right now. I think I'll say it this way. As long as we stay above the 200-day EMA, I'm leaning a little bit more toward the upside. If we do drift back below it, I'm leaning a little bit more to the downside. That's my simplistic approach here on gold. So for now, I am just, like I said, keeping an eye on that. Looking at silver, this one's also looking a little bit more on the bull. Well, not also, but this one's looking a little bit more bullish because it's kind of forming something of a bullish flag here. But again, I know that it's a little bit difficult here with gold because it's kind of, I think, contradicting a little bit each other. But don't get me wrong, on gold, I'm also examining the upside if we do pop and stay above the 1921 zone. For silver, I would like to see, yes, I would like to see this push here, maybe above. Let me just grab a line. I would like to see a push somewhere above this territory, maybe this 24.36, in order to go a little bit to the upside, a little bit towards this downside line drawn from the high of the 4th of May. And then, yes, we'll have to take it from there because maybe it's going to hold and we're going to drift back down. So, long story short, this idea here could be possible. Let's get rid of this. Yes, so if we do break the downside line, great, I'm going to aim higher. But for now, you have to just kind of still respect this downside line. And if it does show strong resistance, then yes, of course, another decline here could be possible. Platinum, something that you don't look at very often, but I looked at this recently and I talked about this. And look, I mean, I said to you that if we do break this downside line, I'll go higher, initially towards the 50-day EMA, tick. Then for the 100-day EMA and the 200-day EMA, not tick yet, but let's see if we can reach the 100-day EMA. For now, that's my game plan, and then I'll take it from there. Just a quick update on natural gas. Look at this beautiful rebound here. I talked about this and I said to you that, look, if we do break this upside line, my next target is the 2.45 here. And you can see that we've reached that. Then I said to you that if we do want to go further south, we need to see a break of that one. And We did kind of flirt with that area, and then we rebounded. Look at this. We failed to break further, or should say stay further below it, and we rebounded and pushed back up. So now at the moment, at this point, I'm kind of leaning a little bit more towards the upside because, again, I'm keeping an eye on this upside line. If we do push and stay above this and above the 100 and the 50-day EMAs, then yes, my next target is the 3.03 area right here, or in general, the psychological 3 level. That's my next target. Cotton, just a quick update on this one. So I've talked about this a while ago. I told you that in order to go lower, a drop below these EMAs is needed. We didn't get that. So yes. We got a beautiful hold up here, rebounded, and now the question is, can we see this move? Can we clear the upper side of the range here? Well, again, it's coming there for the third time. Let's see if the third time is the lucky one. Well, again, yeah, like I said, it's quite interesting from the bullish perspective, but again, I need that confirmation break. WTI oil, very quickly. So this one is okay. It worked and it didn't at the same time, because it did fall below my neckline here of this formation, but it found good support near the 200-day EMA. So I would say now, if you're looking for some lower levels, then yes, a drop below that 200-day EMA is required. For the upside, I would need to see well, I'm getting already that break of this downside line. I talked about this last week. Yes, in a way, this is pointing a little bit more to the upside, where my next target is the 81.74 territory right here, marked by the high of the 21st of August. So this highlighted zone, it can go. This level here can go away as well. I think that I'll mark the 77.60 zone. Very nice area of support here. Also coincides nicely with the 200-day EMA. So that's my downside scenario here. I know that we are missing out on a bit of territory right here, but hey, let's not rush into anything. But here, yes, right now we're breaking this downside line. If we do continue to trade above it, my next target is the 81.74 territory right there. Bitcoin, looking at the picture here, I mean, okay, I'm gonna say the same thing as I said to you last week. For me, this looks like a bearish flag, right? And so far it seems like acting like one. But again, I need to see a confirmation break here below this 25,810 zone, somewhere around here, because it acted as a good area of support. If we do get that drop and we stay below it, then yes, I'm leaning towards the downside. Actually, my arrow here has to be drawn somewhere till here, this 24,800. If yes, if we get a hold up here, then the next question for me, can we rebound or something? But look, at this point, I think that I'm just gonna keep an eye on this hurdle, this 25,810. If that gets clear, then my next target is the 24,800 zone. Bitcoin Cash, looking at the levels here, I would say that the same story, the same bearish flag, but I need to see a drop below the 200-day EMA. That's my simplistic approach here on Bitcoin Cash. For the upside, a break of this downside line is required. Litecoin, similar story again, something like a bearish flag, but the difference here is that we are stuck between these two trend lines, and this is what's a little bit in the way. So in a way, for now, if you're looking for some higher levels, for example, then maybe to wait for a drift lower, maybe then a rebound from this upside line. But at this point, I wouldn't just touch it for the upside, because again, it's forming something of a bearish flag, so, or maybe a bearish pennant more. So that's why it could still break lower, but we need some confirmation. At this point, I'm not getting it. I'm not getting that, so I'm just waiting for it to do something. Now let's jump into a few pairs, guys, very quickly. AUDUSD, yes, I think it's really, really needed. New week, new start. Let's get rid of everything, and now let's have a fresh look. Well, first of all, I think I'm going to bring some of the trend lines back, like, for example, this one. I'm going to keep it for now. Then I'm going to mark our some support levels here, here and here. together with this, yeah, this is the lowest point of August for now. This is 0.6365. So if you're looking for some lower levels, then maybe a break of that one isn't required. But I think that we could already start looking at some lower levels if we do break this upside line drawn from the low of the 17th of August. So if we do get that clearance, then yes, I will consider a move to the downside. But at this point, I get it. Maybe you're thinking, hey, maybe let's get a little bit more retracement to the upside. Well, that would be nice too. But I think at this point, to keep an eye on the 0.6488 zone would be reasonable. So if we do push above it, then yes, I will consider here a move, a larger correction here to the upside. Initially towards the 50-day EMA and then maybe this downside line. But we'll get to that point later on. For the downside, as I said to you, we need to see a break of this this upside line, and then we'll see. Then we'll keep an eye on the lowest point of August, and if that gets cleared, well, guess what? A forthcoming lower low will be confirmed, and potentially this could open the door towards some of these territories right here. But we'll get to that. AUDJPY is a little bit more interesting because, look, we're testing the upper side of the descending triangle pattern, which, according to all the TA rules, tends to break to the to the downside. Sorry, but as I said to you not only last week, but in general, that while I have seen this happening, working out in the opposite direction. Maybe this is going to be seen more of a triangle pattern, and if that's the triangle pattern, then maybe maybe let's say if it's something. Oh, why is it not working? What's happening here? There we go. Okay, there we go. Yes, there we go. I think it lagged a little bit. So yeah, sorry for that. I think it lagged a little bit. So look, if this is not a descending triangle, then maybe this is just a triangle. And in that case, maybe we could see that breakout to the upside because the prevailing trend was kind of to the upside. So maybe it's this, maybe it's like that. So again, maybe it's like this is how it's going to be working out. So that's my problem with these patterns sometimes. So they're not very clear. So look, maybe this is going to break out to the upside. Either way, actually, to be honest, doesn't matter which way it's going to break, as long as it breaks in in a clear fashion. If it gives us that, great, wonderful. Then we can consider the next short-term directional move. So at this point, yes, like I said, maybe it is a descending triangle, but for that, I need to see a drop below that 93 territory right there. And then I'll get more comfortable with the downside. But if it clears the upper side of that descending triangle, then that's also good. That's also okay. And then we can go for some slightly higher levels. AUDNZD, just a quick one. Something of a ascending triangle is getting formed here. So within the range, because don't forget that overall we're in a range still. But within the range, there is something like maybe a little bit more bullish forming. But for that, I need to see a push above the above the 1.0879 territory right here. And then yes, we could go a little bit higher. For the downside, I need to see a break of this upside line, and if we get that, then yes, more sellers could join in. USDJPY, this one's interesting. This one's very interesting because, again, we're getting a hold up near this territory, near this 146.56. Look, I talked about this last week. I said to you, when we were near this 145 zone, I said if we stay below this, then yes, I will go further south. I'll aim for this 50-day EMA. But we reversed and we stayed above the 145 zone, and with a sharp reversal. And okay, that's absolutely fine as well. But now, if you're looking for some higher levels, I think that this is the barrier to watch. This 146.56. If we do get that clearance, then yes, great. That's what I'm gonna be keeping a close eye on, and then I'll go for some higher levels. But I think that the BOJ is trying to keep it, a little bit somewhere here. Maybe they're not intervening yet, I think, or maybe quietly. At least I didn't hear anything yet. So, but yes. If we do fall below the 145, guys, I'm gonna lean a little bit more to the downside. USDCAD. So we do have some Canadian numbers coming out as well this week, especially on Friday, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just double check. Yes, Friday GDP figures together with at the same time together with the NFP numbers. So what does that mean? That means on Friday at the time of the release of the NFPs, we'll also have the release of the Canadian GDP, and that means that we'll have USD-CAD bouncing around, I think, all over the place. In general, I would say the idea here worked out because, look, I talked about this idea before that if we do rebound from that 1.35 territory, I'll go higher. Initially for the 1.3575, that's what I'm going to aim for, and then I'll aim for that 1.3650 zone. Well, came very close to it, so you know what? I'll take it as a success. Great. Now what's next? Well, this is a tricky bit. The tricky bit is because let me just grab a line. I think it's going to be no, not this. I think it might be this. So maybe just no, you know what, I think this is not gonna do. Maybe let's see if this is gonna work for now. Right, okay, I see. So if we judge by this, if we see that this downside line, which is drawn from the high of the 13th of October of last year, so this medium-term downside resistance line, is something that could act as a nice good magnet, then yes, I'm still aiming to the upside. So let's put it this way, as long as we stay somewhere above this 1.3575 territory, I'm gonna lean higher. If we do fall below it, I'm gonna take a neutral stance. If we do fall below the 1.35 zone, that's from where I'm gonna get a little bit more excited with the downside. And then, yes, we will kind of take it from there. So long story short, that's my game plan here on USD-CAD. I'm going to get excited with the downside if we do drop below the 1.35 territory right there. But if we do continue to trade above the 1.3575, then yes, I'm leaning towards the upside. All this area is something of a neutral one for me. GBPUSD. So there we go. We fell below this territory. So look at this, how well this played out. Last week, we were near this upper side of the range and we were like, flirting with it nicely. Then look at this. The bears took control and drove this this pair. Oh, Daredevil Dave, USDCHF. Okay, I'll pick up on that one, yes, in a bit, so just bear with me. I don't have it here on the list, but yeah, I'll pick up on that one. This pair here, like I said, GBPUSD, drifted nicely below this lower side, and to be honest, as long as it stays below the lower side of this range, I will continue targeting the downside. I'll aim for this 200-day EMA. Just bear with me one moment. Let me quickly add USDCHF right here. Yep. So let's put it in here quickly. So USDCHF, it's a little bit of a mess, but I'm sticking still to my game plan, and I'm keeping an eye on this hurdle here, this highlighted zone. I will remove some lines here, I think, in a bit, but just to let you know. So what I said to you before, that as long as we stay above this territory, and this territory is the lowest point of 2021, and I said to you that I'm going to keep an eye on the monthly chart because I want to see what's going to happen here, where we're going to stay in relation to that level this month. We were kind of initially oscillating around it, but now, as you can see, we have nicely pushed away from it. So, and we have tested some of my trend lines here. You can see. So I said to you that my first one will be this steeper one. That's great. We can get rid of it. We reached it, and then I said to you that the other one will be this one, drawn from the high of the 8th of March of this year. So it's somehow, yes, we've managed to reach that one. It provided good, resistance, and now it seems like we're drifting a little bit back down. So if we're looking for some higher levels, then I see more upside if we do break and stay above this downside line. For now, we're seeing a drift lower, but my downside scenario will come on a push below this 0.8758. Look, We still have 4 days left of trading this month, so let's see where we're going to end up being in relation to this. Somehow I'm kind of leaning towards the idea that we might see like this pair kind of jumping around this hurdle. It would be really interesting to see. That would be really fun, but that's why, like I said, I'm not rushing into anything yet. If we do break this downside line, I will, like I said, again, if we do push back above it, then yes, I will go a little bit higher. But if we stay below it, well, I don't know. I really don't know. Maybe, like I said, we could drift back towards this highlighted zone, towards that lowest point of 2021, and then we'll just have to take it from there. So now then, jumping into GBP and NZD. So yes, very interesting territory here at the moment. We found is this just a sec? Yeah, it's not loading up. Yeah, I think I do have some lines here, but yes, it's not loading up yet, so I'm not gonna there we go. So look, what I talked about, I said to you that if we, after dropping below this 2.14 zone, this 2.14 territory here, I said to you that if we do continue to trade below it, then I'm leaning towards a larger correction here to the downside, towards this upside line drawn from the low of the 20th of July, which also coincides nicely with the 50-day EMA. If you're looking for some higher levels, then a push above the 2.14 territory would be required. And then we'll just kind of take it from there. We'll aim for this highest point of August, the current highest point of August, and so on and so on. EURCHF, just a quick update on this one. Yes, so we're stuck here for now, so I'm waiting for an exit. To be honest, nothing has changed really. So overall, we're in this range, but overall, we're actually trending lower. But from the shorter term perspective, we're in the range. But within that range, we're drifting lower because we're trading below the downside line drawn from the high of the 11th of August. So, look, of course, the downside scenario is still the preferable. But within this, I am looking at the very short term perspective, and what I'm seeing here is something like a bullish flag forming. So within this range, maybe we could see some upside, but again, I think that the easier option is to wait for a break of this downside line and do something about it then. For the downside, a drop below the 0.9525 territory would be required. EURJPY. Okay, this one's a little bit of a mess, and I have to admit, and it's not really working as I would like it to work. So what I'm going to do here, I think that I'm going to remove everything, and I'm going to start fresh. Look, we have a weird broadening triangle pattern here. By weird, I mean it's like something like this. I mean, it could still drift around here with greater amplitude. Okay, that's a tongue twister. Antamanigigwa. I don't know if I pronounced it correctly. Apologies for that, but yes. Tamanigigwa. Yeah, there we go. EURUSD is coming up because it's the list. This is the list that I'm going through all the time. Well, not all the time, but most of the time. Yes, I mean, EURUSD is coming up. Don't worry. So if somebody missed an instrument or something like that, guys, I mean, you can see it on the list here. I talked, or actually in the description is there as well under the video, under the video name. You can see what I'm going to be talking about in the video. So if it's not there, then during the video you can ask me, or after the video you can leave a comment and I can pick it up during the next session. But yes, like I said, this is the list that I'm going to go through. I'm going through most of the time. EURJPY, like I said, this is the situation. The broadening triangle is here, and at the moment, I mean, we could see some bigger moves here with bigger amplitude. But I get it. It's not very, attractive, and it's very difficult to do something here. Well, I think that's why I will remove this, and I will remove that as well, and I'm just going to stick to some key support and resistance levels. So for the upside, I will keep an eye on this 159 point, let's round it up here a little bit, 50. For the downside, a drop below this territory would be required for me, this 156.87, because at the same time, we could drop below the 50-day EMA and aim for the 100-day EMA. For the upside, yes, a push above this barrier is required, and then we will go from there. Euro Aussie, just a quick one on this one. Okay, this level here, not really. Okay, it's working and it's not working, so I'm don't really like it anymore. I think that it's time to maybe just capture the recent drop, the low of last week, I would say, near the 1.6755. If we do fall below it, then yes, I will consider a larger correction to the downside towards this upside line drawn from the low of the 15th of June, which if provides support, we could see a nice rebound and a push back up. If we do clear this upside line, then yes, I'm leaning towards the downside. Euro USD. So Euro USD, after we fell below this territory, and I talked about this last week, I said to you that keep your eyes on the 200-day EMA and this 1.0834 right here. And I said to you that if we do clear this territory, my next target is the 1.0780 zone, something like that. We did reach that area. Great. Mission accomplished. What's next? Well, next is this. If we do, I think that now I'll just grab this low here, the low of last week, and near the 1.0765 or 66. And if we do push below it, then yes, I will examine the downside, because look, this whole area right here I don't really like it. From the very short-term perspective, if you really like this little zone, this 1.0793, yes, you can keep an eye on it, but don't forget that it might be just a false breakout here. It might drift lower, fail to reach the low of last week, and then reverse and push back up. So I have seen the scenarios happening several times, so I don't want to do anything here with that. So that's why my upside scenario from the shorter term perspective is this. I need to see a push back above the 200-day EMA and back above the 1.0834 in order to aim a little bit higher. For the downside, I need to see a drop below the 1.0766 territory right here, the low of last week, in order to aim lower. Because a forthcoming lower low will be confirmed, and then yes, we could aim for some of these levels right there. But look, at the moment, I am just gonna be watching this one because we do have some data coming out. So just let's wait and see. I know maybe it's not the most exciting analysis on Euro USD, but guys, again, overall we're still trading below this downside line, so any move higher could still be classed as a temporary correction before another possible leg of selling. So something like this. We need to see a break of this downside line in order to go higher, at least towards that 100 or the 50-day EMAs. But if it somehow, let's say, struggles with the 200-day EMA straight away, then yes, a drift back down could be possible. Then I'm looking at this 1.0793 initially, not very comfortable with that, but still looking at it. But if it actually clears this territory, the 1.0766, now that's where could become a little bit more interesting for a few more sellers. So guys, yeah, that's it. I'll have to wrap it up here. Thank you very much for watching and listening. I really appreciate your time, guys, your views, your likes, or should I say rockets, your comments, everything. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Massive thank you to you guys, and I hope you found it useful. Like I said, thank you for killing almost an hour with me. Tamanikigwa, thank you. Can USD challenge the low of previous week? You mean this one, the 1.0766? This is exactly what I was talking about. I don't know if the comments are a little bit lagging and they're not coming through straight away, but apologies for that. But yeah, like I said, of course, anything is possible. In general, all the scenarios are possible. The only thing is that for us, we need to kind of try to find some sort of logic, and we try to position ourselves carefully, and we should not risk everything, we should manage our risk accordingly. And as I keep on saying, risk only what you can afford to lose. Yes, I mean, it could, of course, it could. And this is where I said to you that drop below the 1.0793 territory here would be the first step of examining a move towards the low of last week. But again, I've seen this happening several times where, let's say, it could drift a little bit lower, fail to reach the low of last week, and then reverse and push, to the upside. So, these these annoying moments do happen, so we have to kind of, that's why my preferred scenario to the downside is on a break below the low of last week. And as I said on these words, yes, thank you, everybody. Thank you, like I said, for killing an hour of your life with me. I hope you found it useful, but I hope you're going to join me tomorrow morning, as always, 6 o'clock GMT time. For now, have a beautiful trading day. Stay safe. Have your stop losses in place. Risk only what you can afford to lose. And don't overtrade, and everything will be fine. Thank you very much. And bye-bye. Hey there, thank you very much for watching this one till the end. I really appreciate that. So, like this video, we speculate your next mouse movement will be towards the subscribe button.